Hey everyone, and welcome to Darkson Gaming. My name is Chris, and in today's video we're going to be doing a breakdown on the Naruto Blazing news, but I'm not going to be doing that alone. I am joined today by Swipe the Stone. Swipe, say hello.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
All right, fantastic. So, jumping right into everything here. Naruto Blazing is coming to an end. Unfortunately, they are going to be shutting down the servers for it, and it's going to be going into effect on February 8th, 2021. So, Swipe, I don't know about you. I've never played Naruto Blazing. Did you ever get a chance to play it?
Unfortunately, no. I did not have a chance to play that game. I was too busy with Dokkan, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that is pretty interesting. I mean, it did very, very well. It got a lot of praise its first 2 years, and I've actually never seen the anime itself. That's probably part of the reason why I didn't get into it. So if you guys want to roast me down in the comments, go ahead and do so, because I've never seen it.
Boo! Boo!
Yes, I know I'm a horrible, horrible person when it comes to that. But hey, hopefully at some point I'll be able to have the opportunity to catch up to it. But otherwise, just kind of go through and break down, because we've been hearing everybody talk about how this means that Dokkan is going to be closing as well, or Dokkan is dead, or Dokkan is dying. You've got people out there saying that they're going to close their accounts and get rid of all of their units. And I'm here to tell you guys, and so was Swipe, this is not happening. I mean, Dokkan is strong, and Dokkan is going to do very well. I mean, Swipe, do you agree?
Absolutely. This is just superstition. This is people stirring the pot. This is like a pandemic of panic, man. It's unneeded. We all know that everything has to come to an end, but it is not going to be anytime soon, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And what we want to do in this video is kind of talk a little bit more specifically about why we think that's going to happen, not just our opinions. So if you guys haven't taken a look at one of our other videos that Swipe and I did, where we kind of broke down the state of Dokkan in 2020, guys, definitely go and check that out. I'm going to go ahead and leave it up in the banner. But otherwise, this right here is Bandai Namco, their stock. So today they closed at 9,372 yen, which, you know, is good on that standpoint. I mean, that's I don't know what the conversion rate is, but pretty much to go through and look at how they've done year to date. Try to get this to go through here now. It's wanting to slow down. Sorry about that. Okay, year to date, you can kind of see here the trend. It's been as low as 4,500 yen. So we've got that they've basically almost doubled in this year since April. Not to mention the last 3 years, they've been as low as 3,500 yen. And in that 3-year time span, I mean, they're being, again, at almost 10,000 yen. That shows a very strong company. I mean, this is the type of thing that you want to look into when it comes to stocks to buy. You know, what are your thoughts, Swipe?
Well, as you guys can see on the screen there, he's got some numbers for you. If I was a trading man, I would be kicking myself right now for not investing in Funimation.
Yeah, I mean, Bandai Namco is doing very, very well on a lot of the different things. And we're going to kind of actually go even more specific just in the last month. But one thing that we kind of talked about before, too, is from 2016 to 2019, Dokkan Battle's gross revenue by quarter has been very strong. It was only doing, when it first started out, like 47 to 45 million. And the first quarter of 2019, that's when you had Blue Gogeta and Broly, Super Broly, that had come out. That was 227 million that they had brought in. Not to mention, you've also got the, I believe it was the 5-year fusions that came out in the first quarter of 2019. So that was by far their best month. And then they dropped off second quarter like they usually do. And then third quarter was pretty good, again, because that's the worldwide celebration time frame. That's what's going on. If you guys look at the fourth quarter, it is obviously much lower in years past. So this is kind of their slow time before they really kind of kick things off after the new year. And, you know, when you hear about that, you know, a lot of people are saying that we're only doing, you know, second year numbers in Dokkan right now, which, okay, that could be the case. That could slow things down, absolutely. But there's so much more that you can go through and do when you see that. And these stats are coming from Sensor Tower, so that's where a lot of people get their information, Swipe.
Well, do you have the graphic up with their last month's revenue total?
No, actually, I'm going to bring that up right now. So
This will pretty much just give it to you in layman's terms right there. When he pulls this up, just look at that number, and tell me that it's not ridiculous. You do that and times it by 12 months, and that's what they're bringing in as a whole. Yeah, they have no desire to end some of their top games up there at all, and Dokkan's up there.
yeah, absolutely. And I've got the everything up on the screen now, and you can see that that Bandai Namco's revenue for last month was 47 million. Okay. And that obviously is very good. That's the entire line of their 263 total apps that they have. Now, one thing that's interesting, I have it sorted right now by downloads. Their #1 downloaded app right now is the Naruto Boruto Ninja Voltage. So they've got a game right now that has got 200,000 downloads plus a revenue of $600,000 last month. So when you compare that to Blazing, which will actually come down here, Blazing was 7th, and that had 50,000 downloads and 200,000. So you've got two, you know, they've actually got more than two Naruto games. I mean, they've got multiple Naruto games. You've got Ninja Tribes, and then they've got a global and a JP version of that game. So they're doing okay. It's just the fact that Blazing wasn't doing that great.
Nope, they ran out of content. That's what I've been told from a couple of people that did play the game. They told me they just kept pretty much spamming back to back the same characters because, you know, that came to an end, that part of the series. So
yeah,
I think that's what ultimately killed it.
Yeah, and then even right now, when you take a look at Dragon Ball Legends, you know, they're second. They've had 200,000 downloads that have come through last month, but you're talking about UI Goku that dropped. So, I mean, that obviously is a huge difference, but when you take a look at the revenue, here we go, we switched up the revenue, and this is the difference maker right here. You've got #1, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle Global. They did $7 million in revenue. Then you take the JP version of the game, which is third, at $6 million. So those two, you actually have to combine them because it's the same content. They don't rehash new content. They don't make content for two separate games. They literally are taking it from Japanese to global, and then all of that information that goes out from there. Combined, you're talking $13 million in 1 month.
I wanted this kind of ties in. Do you mind?
No, go for it. Go for it.
Can I say something that ties in? Another thing that I noticed is everybody saying that the content is lacking. A lot of people have gone so far as to say for the last 5 to 7 months that Dokkan has actually been lackluster and they're just not feeling the desire to play. And I actually took that into consideration. I sat down, I actually thought about it and wanted to see what exactly they were talking about, because as far as I'm concerned, you know, there's a decent amount of content to do, and that's when it dawned on me that people are rushing through the new content that we get within 24 hours. They're doing all their summons in one sitting. They're sitting there just, you know, bam, 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 slapping it out. Story event done, Easy 8 done, and then they're left with nothing to do, you know. And then they always, well, you could grind link levels. Yeah, well, you know, that gets kind of old, and that gets tired. So that's not a valid argument. I'm trying to play, both sides of the table on this, because I know somebody out there is going to say, well, you could just grind link levels. What's your problem? Well, no, I can't, because I don't want to.
Right.
But
Well,
I'm
and not
here.
only that, it's so inconsistent with the link levels, and that makes it so difficult. But when you talk about it, yes, when you're looking at content in general, you need to have content essentially for three levels of people. You need to have content for the whales. You need to have content for the dolphins. Those are the two people that keep a game going, just like we talked about with Blazing. If they do not have whales and dolphins that are in there, obviously paying money to keep the servers open, there's going to be nothing. And unfortunately, that's kind of what's dry right now. I think for people, YouTube content creators, we're constantly having to think of new things that we want to talk about, new things we want to do. So if there isn't content, it does make it a little bit difficult. However, not everyone is going to be playing 6, 7, 8 hours a day of Dokkan. I mean, you've got people like Truth and Gresh that are playing all the time. I mean, that's literally kind of their job is YouTube. So they can turn around and get that, and, spend that kind of time into it. But they're obviously everybody's kind of contributing into this. So, but then you also have the free to play aspect, and you need to have content for free to play players. But I know me as a content creator, I can look into my phone and find out how much I'm playing Dragon Ball, and I honestly will play Dokkan Battle. Maybe I might hit 6.5 to 7 hours as a content creator. I mean, I feel like that's a lot, and that's per
No,
week. So then you turn around and you think about people that are free to play. They're logging in, exhausting their stamina, and getting the events, and then they're out and they're done for the day. They're spending 15, 20 minutes in the game.
well, a few months ago, I decided that I was going to stop the paranoia about getting everything done, because I realized that they do give you an adequate amount of time to get things done. It feels a lot better to do things slowly at a time. I think I started doing this about when Prime Battle Cell released, and I was doing the double 777 grind. I'm sure you're all aware of that hell. So it's stressful. You're trying to rush out the unit, having it done 100% and stuff like that. Well, I just wasn't in the mood this time, and I found out, getting about 100 to 120 medals a day, that's manageable. That's easy. That's relaxing. It gets the job done, and you're not sitting there scrambling, you know, thinking that you're going to run out of time. I think people get worried that if they don't do something immediately, that they'll either forget or they just won't have enough time to do it. And that's not the case. There's a reason why things last as long as they do. They purposely choose the set amount of time because they know that that's reasonable for almost anybody to be able to do it.
Right. No, absolutely. And, there's a lot of different things that go into it as well. Trying to figure out, okay, how much time am I going to be spending doing anything? And sometimes some of the content does gets a little crazy. And I hope that they're going to be adding some new things coming in. You talk about, well, maybe they shouldn't have every aspect of the celebration be available day one. Maybe they need to spread it out. Like some things need to come through in different different day bursts. So in other words, day one the banner comes out, and the Dokkan event. It gives you 2 or 3 days to get that going through. Then maybe drop the Dokkan Clash, and then wait 2 or 3 days, and then drop the EZA that's going to be happening. In a couple more days, drop the story events. That would make a little more sense, but at the same time, they have to think to themselves, well, then you could potentially run yourself into a problem with the free-to-play players that are in the app just a few times a day to be able to get things to basically blow through their stamina, and then that's it. And I think one thing that's really important to mention too is they are trying to keep things as equal as possible, and they got new things. I mean, they have this new revival mechanic that's going to be coming up, and that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works. And I've seen that they've just came out with some more information on it, and you know, it sounds like it's, you know, just a new mechanic. I mean, every year they come out with a new mechanic. Now, hopefully, this doesn't go away like the ultimate super attack, the joint super attack that happened at the worldwide celebration. I hope they come out with more things like that. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, they have new content, and that's where I guess I'm going to bring up a very taboo, horrible thing. If done correctly, player versus player would work for Dokkan Battle.
I'm gonna touch on that. I had one more thing to add before.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I do that. It's real quick. I just want you guys to remember one thing. The producers and the workers down there that are doing this Dokkan, they're not immune to the current climate of the world. They have to do all the regulations, they have to do all the safety and everything like that, and they're being stifled just as much as the rest of us. So if you think the content's a little bit lackluster than usual, it's probably because of that. They're working under very strict orders just like the rest of us. They're trying to do their best. I think it'll alleviate itself as soon as we get this current situation under control, if you ask me. So
absolutely, and
keep that into consideration, would you? Because they work just as hard as the rest of us.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing you want to think about is back in November, they did change directors. So that's like a brand new boss that really it takes them, you know, even if you say it took them 60 to 90 days to really kind of get their vision set and move forward on something, bam, the pandemic hit. And you got to remember, the pandemic hit Japan before it hit the United States and some of the other parts of the world. So they actually kind of started getting affected by it in like December, January of last year. And it didn't start hitting us until like that March time frame here in the States. But, I mean, it's completely different on that aspect of it. But the other thing to remember, too, and I truly believe this in every fiber of my being, that there is going to be something crazy for the Olympics. The Olympics being in Japan, I think we're going to be something big. And I think they had to change up some stuff and then try to have some different things going through. Now, I also think that, you know, I'm believing more and more that it could be good for JP and Global to, if not merge, they need to be on a schedule so that you know this is what's coming out and have things work off that. Do a, you know, maybe 4 combined things in a year, the worldwide celebration, maybe do New Year's, do Saiyan Day, and then really after that, just make sure that when you break those things up, then you follow through with the content that JP got, instead of trying to throw in Global first and please those people, because I don't think that's the right way to go.
I agree.
Yeah, so...
All right. I just wanted to get that in and go ahead to PvP.
It just, when it comes down to PvP, and again, I understand this is horrible, I thought of something on my drive home today that would actually be an amazing thing. Now, I actually did a video talking about PvP and why I thought PvP was a good thing. Imagine this, okay? What is probably the #1 thing that content creators have created for our own PvP? Even now with the global the international tournament that we've got going on YouTube, with JP versus Global, it's races, right? So imagine if we were to turn around and if they were to come up with a player versus player that's a race setup, and then have basically like a ranking of 1 through 10, and just because I go into a race, I'm going to be racing against 10 other people in a certain event. And if you get first place, you get so many points, you know, 10 points. And second place is 9, 8, you know, all the way down to 10th place getting 1 point. And then at the end, they kind of combine everything, and that's how you get to a playoff system. Or maybe even just turn around and say, just like the World Tournament, well, you're in a region, so if you guys win, or whoever comes in first place at the end, you get these rewards. And then that's kind of a way that you could turn around and say, hey, that's player versus player that doesn't add anything in content, as far as completely taken away from the PvE aspect of the game, but gives you that real content of, hey, it's like player versus player.
Well, let me just say this. I don't think we will ever get PvP. My reason is, I think that the reason Legends exists is because they don't want to put PvP into Dokkan. I think that that is exactly why Legends was made.
And that's a fact. I mean, they've talked out. They have not hid the secret that Legends and Dokkan are basically the Legends was literally created off of the information that Dokkan had, or the feedback that people gave to Dokkan. They created Legends for those individuals. That's why it was done. And Legends combined does 9 million, in the month of October. That's where the last month. So don't think that last month meant November and last month was October. So I mean, you've got that player versus player aspect, but it goes kind of back to some of the interesting things that goes through and goes on with the state of the game. At the end of the day, the game is not going away. The game is not going to be something that tomorrow they're going to be shutting us down because they're not making money. Dragon Ball is Bandai's like #1 cash cow. It beat out One Piece, and it hasn't had a new episode in 2 years. And just jumping on to what you were mentioning at the very beginning, they have not touched Dragon Ball for the most part. They very, very little. You can spend years on Dragon Ball. GT they've touched very briefly. They could literally go into the manga. The fact that they're willing to boast the Super Dragon Ball Heroes stuff is endless content. So it's not going anywhere.
Like I said, mark my words, 10 years, it'll make it 10 years because they have barely scratched the surface.
Well,
I'd say they've probably given us like 35%, and that's being generous, of what they have left in the tank. So, yeah.
I mean, who would not love to have another Kid Goku somewhere, or a Mercenary Tao that is really good, or the whole entire fact that you could get, the Saiyan saga. I mean, let's even take a look at Z, the Saiyan saga. You could do a Namek saga before you get to Frieza saga. I mean, there's all kinds of different things they could do that would be really good.
Garlic Jr.
Garlic Jr., please, Garlic Jr. I mean, and that's the thing. They are willing to listen to our surveys. They want our information. The fact that Dokkan wants feedback from us goes to show you that they desperately want to be successful.
That is extremely appreciated, and I am glad that happened. You guys should all be appreciative that happened, because that literally means that they want us to have a large input on what we're receiving as consumers, and that is a good business practice, let me tell you.
Not to mention, it does take some time. We tell them today we want Garlic Jr., and if they're all surprised, well, wow, who knew that they wanted Garlic Jr.? It's not like they're going to pump it out next banner. You're talking about it not happening until, maybe 3 to 6 months realistically, because I'm telling you right now, they already have everything planned out through, maybe, I'm going to say through Saiyan Day. I mean, that might be a little far out there, but I mean, that's about what they're probably planning right now with Saiyan Day.
That's probably a good reason why global exclusive firsts come. That's their way of being able to just randomly pop something out of nowhere if they think that it'll do really well. It gives them an excuse to just smash it out real quick.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of wrap up the video here and kind of go from that standpoint. Dokkan is not dying. Dokkan is not going away. I mean, at this time, we have not thought of the title of this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dokkan Dying Not. I mean, it is not dying.
No, not funny.
It's something to kind of talk about right now, but for the most part, no worries, guys. This is going to be around for a while. Have faith, have fun, play the game, and enjoy it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a one-person, game to go through and have some fun. And every once in a while, you got your explosive chain battle. You've got your world tournament that comes around every now and then. That is your multiplayer aspect. Otherwise, it's the interactions with the community. We've got an amazing community, and we just need to be thankful about that. So,
and I will not stop pumping my paycheck into the game. I give you my word.
I don't know if I can always necessarily say that. That's yeah, 2 kids and everything else. It's pretty crazy sometimes. But
I
otherwise,
got you.
guys, I think that's pretty much it. Swipe. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, nope. I just needed to get a couple things that were rolling around in my head out. I am content now, and thank you for having this conversation with me.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you very much for joining us here on the channel. So, guys, that's it. That's today's video. Yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Please interact with down in the comments. Talk to us. Let us know what you guys are thinking about some different stuff, and obviously that's how more content gets created by us talking about things and going from there. And don't forget to hit us up on Discord, and you can also hit me up on Twitter. But otherwise, that is it. That is today's video, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will talk to you guys later.
Have a good one.